At the time of video production, we are just days away from Christmas Day. And of course, you can't talk Christmas without that tree. Cats and Christmas trees, yep, they sort of go together like oil and water. They're great alone, but when you mix them together, you can get quite the sour recipe. In this material, we'll share a few notable ways that you can cat-proof your Christmas tree. Ways to protect your tree and, as the result, protect your cat. We talk quite often here on the channel about how cats are not big fans of changes to their environment. Well, decorating your home for Christmas, complete with that Christmas tree or perhaps multiple trees, you can't really get much more of a change than that. Santa Claus is coming to town, but your cat wants to know just who he is and if he's going to mess up the daily routine. And as for that Christmas tree, your cat wants to know when they can have their first climb all the way to the top. And today, it'll be the job of Senior Cat Wellness to keep that tree standing tall and your cat with 4 paws on the ground. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas. Stay tuned. Whether you have personally opted for real or artificial this year, where you place your Christmas tree is very important. Not just for the general aesthetic and where you think it will look the very best, but where will be the best place to keep that tree a bit of a secret from your cat. Place the tree out of a high traffic zone. That's the first suggestion. Far away from a high traffic zone if you have the layout to accommodate. Make sure that the tree stands out while standing in a place that your cat just doesn't frequent. When we see those pictures and videos online of cats causing chaos around or in the Christmas tree itself, one of the first issues, well, it's probably a concern with accessibility. Something tells me these cats didn't have to do a lot of searching to find the grand prize. Keep the tree away from your cat, but also place it in an area where your cat can't play a game of hop, skip, and jump on other items to get to that tree. We don't need your cat's favorite bookshelf perch just mere feet from the top of the tree. Before all else, be mindful of that placement. You don't want that Christmas snowball to start rolling down the hill because of a poor location. And now that we picked our prime spot, away from your cat's routine walking path, let's make sure the tree is as sturdy as the trees outside, if at all possible. Using more than just your typical tree stand, make sure the tree will be capable of taking some hits, let's call it, just in case your cat does happen to make the worst of the situation. Secure your tree by using a large stand with a heavy base. We need a good base. Just like a running back in football, we need a good center of gravity. And in many ways, this could be the most important tip of all. But try to tie the tree discreetly. Tie it to something else, perhaps something of a heavy weight or even the ceiling itself for that matter. The goal here is clear. Make sure that your pet won't be able to take that tree down, to take it out. The very last thing you want is a giant mess and broken valuables. If that tree were to go down, you just never know what the outcome could be. And of course, you don't want injuries. We've talked about tree placement, but what about ornament placement? Is there really such a thing as a safe place? There is. Well, at least to a point. The valuable items, the ornaments that cost the most and or mean the most to you, place them higher on the tree. Place them in an area where your cat would really have to do a lot of work in order to reach them. The goal here is that if your cat started messing around a bit, you could put a stop to things before they reach that mid-level area in those higher sections. Garland, tinsel, glitter, trees with artificial snow on the branches, anything sprayed on the tree, anything that can be easily manipulated or licked and consumed. My advice, just don't use it. And if you have to use it, if you decide to use it, once again, those higher branches, that's always the best option. And as for the bottom of the tree, those lower branches, place ornaments in this area that can be manipulated, but with no real negative end, meaning they are shatterproof and a fall won't do them in, but also they're made in such a way that your cat can't chew them. Your cat can't turn the ornament into smaller pieces. And speaking of those smaller pieces, avoid ornaments that are essentially bite-sized. The very last thing you want is a choking hazard. Once again, this is about protecting your tree, but also protecting your cat from themselves. We don't want to find out how far and just how far your cat's curiosity can really go. Next up, I want to talk about a tree guard, a tree shield, because what if that low traffic zone placement just is not working at all? What if that tree is very sturdy but still very much a daily objective of curiosity for your cat? What if you've spent the entire month of December picking up every single ornament on that bottom row and then having to put them all back each and every day? Tree barriers. Most every store, online or in person, that sells Christmas essentials will sell a tree barrier. In short, a barrier is just a nice-looking gate or wrap that covers the base of the tree. And sure, your cat could jump it, but it's high enough that your cat will likely see the barrier before turning their focus towards the actual tree itself. Full access to the Christmas tree. Well, that's easy work for your pet, but if your cat has to do a bit of work, they won't be as interested. This is a good item to have if you're not in the room because, after all, quite obviously, you can't be tree monitor 24/7. Now, blocking the tree and guarding the tree with an object, it can work, but the whole point of the tree is so it can be seen, so I understand this option, it could be a negative with respect to the general aesthetic. But it's all about your personal selection. You know the layout of your home, the rooms, where your cat goes, so consider the tree barrier if you think it could be the best option for you. Now let's shift our attention to the ways that your cat could shift their attention. Give your pet some toys in the play area, some new toys. Perhaps introduce a Christmas-themed area for them. If they have more things to keep their attention, more new things, the less likely they'll be to focus their attention on your Christmas tree. If they have items of their own far away from that tree, this could hold them over and allow you to make it through December 25th. Heck, a scratching post that looks like a Christmas tree. It could be a winner in the big picture. And now, before I close things out, if this is your first Christmas with a new cat, I think logic would suggest that this year could be the toughest. Especially if you have a young adult feline and it's your first Christmas with that cat. Because while the Christmas excitement only comes once per year, cats do develop association. If your cat is, say, 10 years old and has been looking at your tree every year for a decade, they'll probably, and I do say probably, be a bit less curious and less inclined to take the full plunge and investigate that tree. Some cats, and I do say some cats, they'll give the tree a look and walk under it, check things out for a few minutes, and then that's it. Not every cat falls in love with that Christmas tree. And if they did one year, by year 3 or 4, it's just another thing. In fact, if you go all in for the holidays in terms of decorations, there's a chance that other items could be more interesting, perhaps, than that tree. It's really just like most things in the feline world. For all that we know and for all that we talk about, every cat has their own very unique and special personality that just can't always be accounted for when it comes to a topic like this one. To the wonderful audience of Senior Cat Wellness, what are your thoughts on this subject? Is your cat a bit too in love with the Christmas tree? Or does your pet just give it a look and then resume normal programming? Your personal ownership stories of your Christmas cat. I love to read them. That comment section, as always, it's all yours. And if you enjoyed this content, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. I'd love to have you as a member of the Senior Cat Wellness family. And until next time, Merry Christmas to you and yours. And I will talk to you later.